Sitrep. Right. Can I get my confirmation check in direct, please? You can hear me? All right. Thank you for sitting in. Right, everybody. Good afternoon and good evening. Welcome to the 511 monthly Sitrep. Today we'll be discussing various topics for new additions, changes, or removals in the future for 511 and the benefit for you guys. This will last approximately 30 to 45 minutes. Questions will be taken at the end, and a friend will be made in barracks to discuss any other topics or any other questions that come up within the sit rep. Thank you. Now off to Constantine Zuma and Major Editing.
Thank you. So first, I'm going to start off by quickly recapping the events of our most recent operation. During this operation, the operation itself was a failure. Now, of course, this is to be expected, considering this is the first campaign we have had in about 2 or 3 months, I believe. But of course, I believe we have another campaign coming soon, and I expect we'll do much better then now that you all have practice, you now know what to train for. During this operation, I believe the success rate went along sorry, excuse me, just having technical issues. There you go, my apologies. As I was saying, part 1 was a failure. Due to this, Skoklov was able to escape, and as such, this caused some complications. In part 3, the mission was in fact a success, but in turn of events, part 4 was indeed a failure, resulting in the total failure of the operation itself. Now, for those of you who are wondering when the next campaign is going to come out, I'm sure some of you are a bit worried about this. Of course, in the past, we've had issues with it. We've had a recent break of the campaign, about 2 to 3 months, as previously restated. But do not worry about that. We should have a campaign out for you all in the next 1 or 2 months. And as for such, for the fire team leads here today, I expect you all to keep on training your team. Make sure you do better this time. Thank you. I'll push this on to First Lieutenant Sumer now.
Thank you. All right, so as far as the future campaign plans, I can confirm that we are currently testing the use of custom maps for the next campaign. Once we get past those technical issues that have come with the next update, we should be able to roll out the theme with the possible reintroduction of squad missions for the next campaign. Yes. The other things that have been keeping us in the gap here is open events that have been hosted, which we've gotten a lot of questions on promotions and what is involved in earning your way up. Hosting open events and hosting side missions is something that has really helped us through this. Would appreciate it. Shoot. Oh yeah, Warhound. Congrats. Oh yes, Warhound will have a bit of an overhaul this year. So for the past few months, it has been mainly driven by the volunteer lead. For this month, it's going to be slightly different. Operations are going to come down from the top. They're going to tie in with the main campaign. And there will be a lot more scrimmaging with outside units that we're currently in contact with. So you can expect to see an evolution if you have been chosen for Warhound. Within that, will be a little bit more Blake Pack if you were here in March or April. What was back then? And yes, volunteers for advanced MOSs. Those are also currently in development. They were announced in the previous SITREP, but they're continuing to be developed with the help of those of us who have experience. If you have experience and you would like to step up and help develop those, please direct message a community manager. If you do not and you wish to help become a trainer or become an instructor, also send a direct message to the community managers. Using all of our manpower here in this unit is how we're going to advance to be one of the best units. We've already distinguished ourselves, as I'm sure you know, in the Onward community with our shout outs from Downpour and recognition. Generally, just recognized as one of the most well organized groups that exist, and that is because all of you volunteer to step up. If you have any extra time or anything else that you can contribute, please just direct message one of us. Always looking for. Okay. Now I'm going to pass it back to Major Radical.
Thank you, First Lieutenant. So, alongside the Warhound revamp, we'll also be getting a DI overhaul. Now, I'm sure if you have all recently worked in announcements, you'll have seen that we have recently posted applications for drill instructors and whatnot. So, if you are currently looking for something to do to help the community and you want to be the face of the 511, I highly recommend you talk to Psychist about that. He is currently running the program. And so if you're interested in becoming a DI, I'm calling for you guys to talk to Psychist. He'll help fill you in, get you ready, and see if you get put into that program. Now, another thing I want to briefly mention is, in the past Sitreps, we ever so slightly briefly mentioned a promotions training system. Now, what this is that basically what it means is, say you're a private and you want to go to private first class. You've been recommended by your fire team lead and other colleagues within the 511. What this means is you'll be taken through a basic training course to get you some more skills ready for you to take over that new rank. And this will be progressing throughout the ranks. We'll have more information for you shortly. Probably next SITREP will have the system fully implemented and ready for you all. And now I would like to pass this on to Viper.
Hear me loud and clear?
Affirmative.
Okay. Right. So, over the week, I and the high command team have been discussing how exactly we can help get people out more promotions, how to strive them out, give them more out, give people a better chance, more or less those below sergeant and those above sergeant, to get to the ranks they need, such as privates, private first classes, corporals will now have the extended chance to be able to reach higher ranks. And with this comes a job for the fire team leaders, and this is now going to be a requirement. All fire team leaders will now and must have to have one report once a week. This including missions, any side missions, trainings, events, or any other sort of which members in your fire teams have attended and have acted upon in their events. An example would be if a mission is hosted and member one has fulfilled their job as expected or above expected, with additional compliments such as they have supported the team, they averaged more than above the entire team, and they classified as a team leader. This will go into a report that will be sent to community managers that can also be reached by high command and help them specific members get a chance to have promotions, and it helps fire team leads in their leadership training too. So that's all from me for today. I'll be handing this over to Major Radical and First Lieutenant Zuma, although I will be answering questions. And if you do hear a lot of noises in the background, that's because I live in London. It's really crowded. Yeah, all right. Off to high command.
Thank you, Viper. And once again, I would like to just reinstate for y'all to start posting any questions you have in barracks. We'll be beginning to answer those slowly. So if you have any questions about anything we have stated today, hold on, quickly summoned by First Lieutenant Mays, one of our community managers. DI applications are currently closed, you claim. I believe Lieutenant Colonel Drumstick has more information about that, and I'll have to speak with him about that. Thank you for bringing that up to my attention. I actually believe I've been summoned somewhere else for questions. Stand by. Okay, according to First Lieutenant Mays, the DI applications are currently filled. Once again, I'm going to check in with Lieutenant Colonel Drumstick, who's currently assisting Psychist in running the program. But once again, if you are interested in becoming a DI, just let Psychist know. And if opportunities come up, he'll keep you in mind for when we need more. Thank you. And while I quickly deal with a technical issue, I'm going to pass this back to First Lieutenant Sumer.
I see some typing going on a thread. How is promotional ranks going to work with members around senior non-commissioned and such? All right, so once you get past the basic enlisted non-commissioned officer ranks, as far as I'm concerned, still recommendations from your fire team lead, recommendations from those around you, and also to the extent that you take leadership and that you contribute to the unit in your own way. So whether that's becoming an MOS instructor, becoming a drill instructor, going where you're needed, taking any skills or any time that you have, contributing back to the unit, hosting open events. If there's a leadership vacancy in your fire team, fill it. If there aren't events being hosted, host them. Make it happen. And show that you deserve the leadership position, show that you fit into the position, and it's more than likely you'll become officially recognized for the responsibilities that you've chosen to take on. Does that answer your question? All right. Any more questions?
And if you have any questions you would like to verbally come up to the stage and say to everyone, I'm going to ask that you raise your hands. So if you have any questions, say now. Use the raise hand function. And if you're uncomfortable with coming up onto the stage, you can also post, once again, in barracks. Of course, if you're uncomfortable coming to high command, as First Lieutenant May says, you can always bring it up to one of our staff members or community managers. Once again, thank you to our staff members, community managers here today, especially First Lieutenant Mays and Sergeant First Class Red Wolf. I'll take it in that case. None of you have any questions at all. All right, in that case, stand by.
Oh, I see some typing in the thread.
Currently, the Director of Special Forces role is held by Viper. This role is usually held by Task Force Lead, and they're usually responsible for making sure Warhound is taken care of. There's a there is a Warhound Lead, and missions are being written. With the revamp we have coming, this role will actually have a lot more use than what it currently has, because right now it's been sitting there doing nothing. So you'll see that role actually have a lot more authority soon enough in the coming days, weeks, and months.
With that role also in mind, starting off this month to the end of the month, Warhound's operative will receive this role and will further on for 3 months to take on the role as special officer, special command for Warhound, meaning you will be selecting teams and you'll be selecting a leader too. This role will come very beneficial in promotions, recommendations, and those who want to achieve a higher rank or a role within moderation.
This will be the last call for any questions, any of you have. This is your time to raise your hand, type in barracks, anything at all. Okay, I see one message from someone. Actually, hold on.
Oh.
Is there any plan to decrease lack of members in the fire teams? Something like making the demand of fire teams higher than the supply, if that makes sense. So, to answer that question, there have been talks about this before, and it's currently still being talked about. I cannot say now if that will be implemented, but I can tell you that High Command is already thinking about this, and we'll get back to you on that as soon as we can. I also noticed we do not have an E9, basically making it so that we can use the chain of command properly.
With the E9 role, currently, we have no one fulfilled in that position, but we will be looking into this month in for someone to fulfill that position due to its high responsibilities for that rank, and only one person is going to be able to fulfill that rank. So any non-commissioned officers to senior non-commissioned officers will have a chance of gaining this rank through showing much maturity, discipline, activity, and engaging within the 511 as much as possible. Due to this rank holding, again, high responsibilities and management of all ranks below.
With that, I believe we have no more questions. Oh, we have one more from First Lieutenant Mays, aimed towards Viper, so I'll leave Viper to answer that.
Yes, we will be doing sort of training like this due to the responsibilities held by that rank. So they won't be completely intense, but it will be challenging mentally to the mind to be able to see if you have the capacity to take over this role and job and handle further the more than 60 plus active duty within our enlisted ranks.
See, we have one more person typing, so let's see what's said. If there's no more questions, we will start to conclude. Of course, I guess I'll quickly repeat that, but I believe we have someone. All right, so we'll be putting management up to the stage here. I believe you put a request in the sleep cell. All right, management, come with the stage. Okay, well, we wait for it. Oh, here we go. Any or not. Okay, so to quickly reinstate what I previously said in the beginning for Psychist year, Mike blew up. All right, thank you, Mandarin. Basically, all I had done was quickly recap the events of our most recent campaign operation. The total success rate was a failure. Mission 1 was a failure. Mission 2 was a success. Mission 3 was a failure. And I believe Mission 4 was also a failure. I believe so. I was away for that. And as I was saying, now that you all have experienced the campaign, since we have not done one, and we have a lot of new fire team leads here that haven't been able to experience the campaign before, you'll now be able to know what to train for and get your teams ready for the next campaign that should be releasing shortly. So keep an eye out for that in the near future. And Mandarin, if you want to type your message into barracks, I can answer that for you, since your mic appears to not be functioning. Give you a minute to respond to that before we conclude. It will have 0 questions then. This will be the conclusion of the September Sitrep. Thank you all for attending. You're all dismissed.